Guys, I'm inside my 2006 Toyota Prius, and I wanted to talk to you guys why I think this car is possibly one of the best cars you can get in the used marketplace. The Toyota Prius, there's a generation that you need to avoid. There's the first gen, and it kind of looks more like a regular car, and then there's this generation that came out afterwards. That's the generation that gives you the most bang for the buck. And the batteries on these are actually kind of dying off because the cars are pretty old. This one's 15 years old, and the battery did die on it. But at first you would think, oh yeah, it's a car that you're going to have to throw away because the batteries are so expensive. That was the initial fear when the Toyota Prius came out. But nowadays, these batteries have gotten so cheap and so good that you can put in a new battery pack for about $400 and you can drive this thing for another 10 years. The gas engine on this is notoriously reliable, and because of the energy, the hybrid energy system that they use, the regen actually helps with braking. So this is probably one of the cheapest cars that you can use. The cost per mile is very low. So that's the reason a lot of these cars are still on the road and they're still being used by taxis and Uber. It's a very cheap car to run, and of course this one has about 146,000 miles. I really like driving it, and I've had quite a few cars. And the thing is, you need one of these cars to do most of your driving. You're not going to be driving, you know, like a fancy sports car all the time. You want the car that just works. You push on the button and it just starts. You know, it never gives you any issues. That's why I like the Toyota Prius. And you might be considering like a Honda Insight, but the Insight is a lot worse. The IMA battery that's in that system tends to fail much more than these. These are very reliable, and you know, for a guy like me that doesn't have crazy money, I like the ability of just having a car that gets 50 miles to the gallon, sometimes 60 miles to the gallon. This is a 2006, so even by today's standards, that's really good. And it doesn't have crazy technology, but I do appreciate how easy this car is to live with. It's got good visibility throughout. You know, it's very easy to get in and out of the car. If you're a person that has knee issues, this car is only slightly lower, so the egress is extremely easy, and something I really like. SUVs have really good egress, but the Prius is a car that's very easy to get in and out. So even older people, they would benefit from this car. And the driving experience, it's different. You know, you're getting this car for the ability of just getting to A, to B, to C, you know, just it's your get-around car. It's not going to give you this fantastic driving experience because it's not meant for that. And I think that's why this car is laughed at in the car world. You know, if you say that you like your Prius, then everybody thinks you're an imbecile, but I love my Prius. You know, think of me as what you will, but the Prius is such a fantastic car, but it appeals to people who don't have that much money anymore, especially in the used marketplace. It's a rational decision to buy a Toyota Prius, but there's so much you can do with it. I love that I have so much room back there to carry stuff. I carry like my bicycle without having to remove the wheels, for example, and I just have to put the seat down. This car is so good that a lot of people are getting this car for camping, car camping. And I have camped inside of this car, you know, a couple of times, and it was very comfortable. I stayed in a very cold place, and it was very cold outside, but because this is an energy or a hybrid system, you can put it at 60 and it'll kick in and out, so it acts as a generator. So that's a beautiful thing in car camping. The only bad thing is that it's a smaller car. You know, it would be nice to have this system in an SUV like a Honda Element, for example. That would be an excellent system. But you get Toyota reliability with this thing, and it doesn't waste tires very much. It's very comfortable to drive. The steering wheel is a nice light touch that, it gives you easy maneuverability around the city, and on the highway it's pretty darn good. So the downsides is that people don't generally think of this as a car guy's car. But I love that I can sneak up on people on this. It's so quiet and you don't want to call a lot of attention to you. Even if you're wealthy, driving a Prius actually hides the fact that you have a lot of money. So even if that's the case, if you have an old Prius, this car should have been in Breaking Bad, because I think it would actually make a better car for the guy that works for El Pollo Locos. Instead of the Volvo, this would have been a better car for him instead of the Volvo. This is that rational, long-term car that people should have. This car should be in your garage. It's that good of a car. There are antiquated things like the screen here. Nobody really cares about the Synergy drive or the hybrid system that's happening here. It's just really not that interesting seeing the regen. So in the newer ones, they actually did away with that, which is good. And now the newer ones still have a more Tesla-like digital display. This is more than enough. I don't think I am lacking of anything. It's got plenty of the bells and whistles that I need. And of course, it doesn't have all the tech of today, but I just need a car to get to A to B. And this thing, I've seen these cars with 500,000 miles. That's incredible for a Prius. So if you're the type of guy that drives around a lot, or you do Uber, or you're a taxi cab driver, this is probably one of the better cars you can possibly get. This makes a lot of sense in the United States and in the world. Europe should be filled with these cars. They're getting 50 miles to the gallon, and they're large. They're large family cars. Yeah, I absolutely think this is probably one of the better cars you can get. A lot of people neglect the Toyota Prius, but I think you should give it a serious look. I think it's one of these cars that are often overlooked because people now are getting the Teslas because they're much better for the environment, but the Toyota Prius, there was a lot of technology that went into these cars, and now it's old hat. But you know what that means when it's old hat? It's a good time to get a really good deal on these cars. Alright guys, thanks for watching my Toyota Prius. I really like this car, but you can still get some good deals out there if you don't mind a high mileage Toyota Prius. It's very rare to find these cars with low mileage in the cities. You have to drive out quite a bit to find any low mileage versions. And this one looks fantastic in white. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.